dinosaur aura tier list. Pretty sure that's what I'm gonna call this, but I'm here to do a good job on this since someone else didn't do that. All right. So today we're gonna be ranking 25 of the most popular dinosaurs based on like their aura, coolness, popularity, blah blah blah. Same thing. Anyways, enough of me yapping. Let's get started. Starting off with the one, the only, the T-Rex. All right. This absolute unit, this absolute goat. All right. This is S tier. It doesn't matter. You could say, oh, but it's feathered, so it's less scary. It's less aura. No, no, it's not. All right. It's the Tyrant Lizard King for a reason. I mean, ask anyone if they know what a T-Rex is. All right. And most people, their favorite dinosaur is a T-Rex. So that's why they're S tier. You can't argue that they're anyone else. I mean, if you think they're not an S tier, there's something wrong with you. It's that simple. But what might not be an S tier is with Triceratops. And okay, I do gotta. Okay, most dinosaurs would automatically be like very high up on this list when compared to modern animals. But so to like make a more interesting list, this is like compared to ever dinosaurs and each other. Now, this is like general, you know. Keep in mind, most of these automatically have more aura than your average rhino or stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. But with that being said, Triceratops are gonna put an A tier. Right? It's not as heavy of a hitter as a T-Rex, but that thing still has aura. All right, a whole herd of these dudes would cause such a huge traffic jam or stuff like that, dude. You can't go wrong with Triceratops, right? Absolute goat. Now, what's up next? Is the Velociraptor. All right, now these dudes, these are the real Velociraptors. All right, these are no Jurassic Park raptors. Right, these dudes are like the size of like a small dog, most likely smaller. These dudes are not too big, which means they don't have that much aura, essentially. So we're gonna have to put them in D tier. All right, now obviously Jurassic Park Velociraptors have pretty good amount of aura. All right, aura, whatever you want to call it, coolness, blah blah blah. But Velociraptors, they just don't hit the spot. Maybe if it's like a Utah Raptor, that would be an A tier or S tier, right? Because that is a huge raptor. But this is just the tiny raptors, you know. So they don't got that much aura. In all realness, I mean, they just don't. It's that simple. But a Stegosaurus does have aura. All right, these dudes are also huge, like a Triceratops, and I mean, arguably a bit more scary. I don't know. It's like, what's scarier, a Triceratops or a... Well, I was gonna say a rhino or like a elephant, but these aren't really elephants. I mean, yeah, we're gonna put them in A tier, alright? Because Stegos just as equal as the Triceratops, I would say. Alright. Up next, though, is the Brachiosaurus. And these dudes are absolute giants, alright? These dudes have to have S tier. I mean, if you think about it. They're just huge. I mean, they're like some of the largest creatures that ever lived on like the land. So they gotta go S tier. I mean, plain and simple, right? Plain and simple. What's up next though is Apatosaurus. Now these dudes are not quite as big, and most media doesn't show them to be as cool as like a Brachio. I mean, Apatosaurus A tier, kind of same deal. I don't really know. No. Yeah, Apatosaurus, you know, you got the big dudes, very long necks, very long tails. We're going to put them in B tier, because there's someone coming up later on that has more aura than an Apatosaurus. But Apatosaurus is still pretty cool. Next up is the Spinosaurus, alright? Now this dude, this is the absolute legend, bro. I mean, you already know where it's going. It's S tier, alright? It doesn't matter what Spinosaurus it is. It could be the Jurassic Park 3 one, like we have here, or it could be the real life one. It doesn't matter. It's always as S tier. Some people don't like the new version, which I guess it's acceptable that you don't like it if you grew up with the Jurassic Park 3. But still, real life Spinosaurus is still the largest carnivore. I'm pretty sure it's the largest carnivore ever to exist. I could be wrong though. At least on land, it's the largest carnivore. So it's S tier. I mean, where else? Spinosaurus S tier. S, you know, S and S. Getting back on it. Ankylosaurus. Now these dudes, I mean, come on, it's A tier. Ankylosaurus, it's in the same realm as a Triceratops. Like these things would absolutely demolish your car. Well, I mean, I guess so. Would it. Most of these would probably demolish your car, but these things are like the size of your car, and they're just giant. They're Ankylosauruses. What do you want me to say? They're giant Pokeball dudes, you know. Not pokey. Like, Verbals or pokey. Wait. They have giant tail clubs, alright? And that's just ore on its own, alright? All three of these are just ore on its own. But next up is the Allosaurus. Now, I don't feel like Allosaurus gets enough love, dude. Like, T-Rex, like the I don't know. Like, it used to get a lot of love. But, like, now it's, like, not. But it's like the Jurassic era, period, whatever to call it. It's, like, one of the top predators. So, Allosaurus has to be A tier. I mean, it's not S tier. Allosaurus doesn't have as much aura as, like, a Spino or a T-Rex. But it definitely has as much. It probably has more. It definitely has, like, more than, like, these three, dude. Well, maybe not Stego. I don't know. They just have... And they hunted in packs, which T-Rex might have, you know. Dinosaurs coming up later might have. But, you know, still, these, I'm pretty sure, are confirmed to have hunted in packs. And if I'm wrong, then, John, you can go ahead and have a field day in the comments about how I'm wrong, alright? But, moving along, you know, I'm not wrong with the placement of the packies, right? These dudes share a similar realm with the Velociraptors, right? These dudes, they're not really that cool. Okay, actually, they have the head buddies, alright? But also, I'm pretty sure that they can't actually, like, headbutt like we thought they did, because it would, like, damage their skulls and stuff, which, like, if the main thing that makes you cool, you can't actually do it, that's just not that cool. But it's in the same realm as a raptor, right? Because obviously, all the media and stuff around Velociraptors is the only reason raptors are this high. They would be, like, E tier, but no. Putting them in D tier because, like, Jurassic Park and all that. But at Packies, these dudes are good in D tier. That sounds amazing. Now, Parasaurolophus, alright? These dudes, we don't give them enough credit, dude. These dudes are, like, absolutely huge. They, like... I'm gonna have to say it, alright? Okay, In media, they don't have enough aura, but, like, the real life dudes have so much. Like, they're actually insane, alright? Like, we actually know what they sound like. I can't pull up the video, but just after this video, obviously, go ahead and search up, like, Parasaurolophus real sound, and it's crazy, dude. Like, that's just aura. You know what? Just because of that sound, I'm putting them in A tier, alright? And if you don't know what it sounds like, just go look it up, alright? After this video, of course. Of course, after this video. But what's next is the meat-eating bull of a Carnotaurus. Alright, these dudes, toast. Alright, if you know, you know. But these dudes, they're chill. Carnotauruses are... I mean, they can run really fast. They're like... I'm pretty sure I've heard that they're like the cheetahs of the Cretaceous. I could be pulling that out of my you-know-what, but... I mean, they're A tier. They're A tier. I feel like most of these dudes are going to be getting put in A tier. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. Well, still, Carnotauruses are still A tier, alright? Now, what's up next is the Giganotosaurus. And the Giganotosaurus doesn't get enough love, dude. Like, it's in so much media. It's in Jurassic World, it's in Ark, you know, all of them things. But, like, the designs, like, I don't know, the design is, like, so different in each one, people don't know what a Giga is. Like this, do you think this is what a Giga looks like? Because if you search up a Giga, there's, like, 50 different designs. You just don't, like, you look at it and you're like, is that a Giga? What is that, you know? And Jurassic World Dominion cooked it so bad, but in real life, the Giga's obviously S tier. This is, like, you got the big three carnivores. You got a T-Rex or crushing bones. You got the Spino being, like, the largest. It's essentially, like, the bears, I would feel, of the dinosaurs. And then you have the Gigas, and these are, like, for slashing, you know, like, with their teeth and stuff. They're essentially hunting big sauropods, stuff like that, so. Gigas S tier. Can't really argue with that. What's up next, though? Is a Therizinosaurus. Now, same deal. Is this a Therizino? No, this is, alright? Okay, these dudes. Okay, I ain't gonna lie. They're cool. But one of the main reasons they're cool is because of their claws. And if you've seen Jurassic World Dominion, one, I'm sorry, I feel bad for you. And two, like, the claws can't actually do that. They're too weak. They're for, like either digging up ants or, like, scraping off bark, tree branches, stuff like that to eat, you know. They're not actually used for fighting, which, honestly, that just drops them down to B tier. Like, the main thing, again, the main thing that makes you cool, you're not that cool at, you know? Like, I mean, of course, they are a lot cooler than a Pachy. They have a lot more aura or whatever. I'd prefer a Therizino over a Pachy any day. But we have to put Therizinos in B tier. I'm just sorry. Like, all of these dudes are cooler than a Therizino. Even the Parasaurolophus. Like, the real-life Parasaurolophus is cooler than a Therizino. Alright? I'm about to get flamed, but it's the truth. That's the only reason I'm getting flamed. Up next, though, it's the Dilophosaurus. Now, you might think, alright, that these dudes drop in ranking because they can't spit acid and they don't have the frills. But then you think about the fact that they're like 2 times or 3 times the size that they are in Jurassic Park. Which is pretty cool. But also, again, most people know them for the frills and the spitting and stuff, and they can't actually do that. Which is why they're popular. They're just like, okay, don't flame me. But they're just like any other early Jurassic creatures. I would prefer, okay, actually, Dilophosaurus is all coolest. Like, when you compare them, like, Proceratosaurus or Monolophosaurus, some kind of dudes, they are the coolest. I do agree. But C tier is where they have to go. They're cooler than a real-life raptor. The real-life Dilophosaurus is cooler than a real-life raptor. I do agree with that. Up next, though, is the compies. And these dudes, the only thing saving them from F tier is if you've read the book, Jurassic Park, the book. There's a book. That's what the movies are made on. So there's a scene in the book where there's this crib with a baby in it and a bunch of compies. Now, I'm going to let you figure that out on your own. When that's the only thing saving them from F tier, though. They're just tiny little dudes. I could definitely, like, curb stomp. Oh, it looks so weird. Okay. I could definitely curb stomp, like, 10 of these dudes. These dudes are not scary. But the scene in the book is what saves them from F tier, alright? But what is F tier is Archaeopteryx. This little, it's just a flying little flappy compy, alright? This thing just gets too much love, alright? It has, like, most people know about it, but, like, why? I don't even think it was actually directly related to birds. Like, I'm pretty sure, from what I remember, right, is that the Archaeopteryx dudes, the Archies, we'll just call them Archie, yeah, these dudes, they evolved, and then, like, their lineage or whatever went extinct, and then birds evolved later on, but not related to them. So these were, like, just failure fucking birds. They're F tier. You couldn't even be an actual bird. You're just a failure of a bird, so you're an F tier. Up next, though, is Argentinosaurus. Now, these dudes are like the largest land animal to ever exist that we know of, arguably, blah, blah, blah. And for that reason, they're S tier. I mean, it's just absolutely insane how big these things got, dude. They were massive. Play the clip. What is the next step?
And do you know what else is massive?
These dudes were just massive, alright? So we're in S tier. It's plain and simple. If you saw this thing in real life, walking in your backyard, you'd probably faint, to be honest. You would probably faint. They're just massive, crazy creatures, you know? And it's low-key, you know... I'm gonna stop with the low tier for me. Up next, we have the Gallimimus. And these dudes, they're just huge ostriches with feathers. They're good C tiers. They have more aura. See, I hate putting raptor down here. I'm gonna get flamed, but the real life creatures have more aura than a normal raptor. That's just true. It's just the fact. The real life Velociraptor. The only reason the real life Velociraptor is as popular as it is because 1, in Jurassic Park, and 2, because its name is the easiest to say in the raptor family, and it's like the most iconic one. That's the only reason it's popular. Only reason. Up next, though, we have the Iguanodon. I'm pretty sure this is the second dinosaur to ever exist, and it's kind of sad. Like, not many people know about it, right? It's essentially a beefed up parasaur with very spiky thumbs that it used to just kill carnivores, which that's just aura. That's just, you gotta admit, that's just aura. That's pure aura right there, alright? You can't even lie and say it is not aura. We have... But next up is Oviraptor, alright? Now, you might think, oh, these are the dudes that eat eggs. But, yeah, they didn't actually do that, I'm pretty sure. Not the Oviraptors. Because the body was found next to a nest. The fossil was found next to a nest. And they thought, oh, it's eating these eggs. But what it was actually doing was being a goated mom, or parent, I don't know. Mom, parent, dad, same thing. And protecting its babies. Which, that's just B tier, that's just aura. Actually, C tier aura, alright? You're protecting your babies, and then you get mistaken as trying to eat what's supposed to be your kids. I know some people that eat their kid. Okay, what does that even mean? Okay, moving on. Diplodocus, Diplodocus, alright? These dudes, I don't know, they're kind of in the same realm as Apatosaurus. They're like not too crazy. The only cool thing to have, okay, not the only cool thing, but the main cool thing is their tail whip. But they might not even be able to do a tail whip. So, again, main cool thing about them, they can't do. Possibly. I could be completely wrong. Don't quote me. Always do your own research. But moving on is the Ceratosaurus. And these dudes, yeah, they don't have that much aura, alright? If you watch Jurassic Park, the only scene that they're in is in Jurassic Park 3, at least in the movies. And it's them sniffing a pile of Spinosaurus poop and then walking off because they got scared. That is E tier aura, but I'm not putting the GOAT Ceratosaurus in E tier, alright? We'll put him at C tier, alright? Barely missing the mark of B tier. Right? They would be B tier if they didn't sniff a giant pile of Spinosaurus poop. It's that simple. Now, last but not least is the Nigersaurus. Not the F tier race, which, go watch the video if you haven't already. But the country, Niger, which is where it's found. Now, this dinosaur has about 500 teeth and looks like that. As you can see, that's what it looks like. For namesakes alone, we'll do. It's S tier. The Nigersaurus is S tier. I can't even lie. S tier dinosaur. I would probably have a whole field of Nigersauruses if I could, As pets, not, whatever you're thinking, John. Anyways, that's the end of our video today. Thank you for taking the time out of the day to watch this. And if you want to see more, go ahead, like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. Tell me how I'm wrong. And, in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.